In 1642, the universe was viewed as a fragmented, chaotic mystery. People believed the dirt beneath them and the stars above followed separate, unknowable rules. The heavens and the earth were two different worlds. That winter, a baby boy was born premature and so fragile that his survival seemed impossible. He was famously small, tiny enough to fit inside a teacup. His name was Isaac Newton. After his father died and his mother remarried, Isaac grew up in a quiet rural home, isolated and lonely. He avoided other children, retreating instead into a private world where he obsessively watched shadows and built intricate mechanical models. This painful childhood solitude forged his defining trait, a relentless, quiet curiosity. He learned to look at the world with a level of focus that would eventually allow him to decode the structure of reality. Newton eventually found his intellectual home at Cambridge University. There, he immersed himself in natural philosophy, studying past great thinkers to find his purpose. But his education was abruptly cut short when the Great Plague arrived. The university was forced to close, stripping away his professors and sending Newton back to the remote countryside of his youth. This 2-year quarantine became the most productive constraint in the history of science. Surrounded by absolute silence, Newton began to ask the deep, difficult questions everyone else was ignoring. His first major breakthrough involved a simple piece of glass. Newton proved that pure white light is actually composed of a hidden spectrum of colors, which he demonstrated by splitting a single beam into distinct rays. When he realized existing mathematics couldn't measure how things change or move over time, he invented an entirely new system to handle it. Today, we call that system calculus. Rather than looking to the heavens for grand revelations, Newton focused on the micro details of ordinary things. He spent his time analyzing a prism, a falling kite, or the specific behavior of water. By isolating and mastering these earthly variables, he built the mathematical framework he would soon use to solve the largest mysteries of the cosmos. While sitting in his garden, Newton watched an apple fall straight toward the ground. His genius was not in seeing the event, but in asking why it fell strictly down toward the center of the earth, rather than sideways or up. He deduced that the apple fell because of an active, invisible pull. The earth itself generated a powerful force that drew objects directly toward its center. Then came his massive logical leap. If this invisible tether could pull an apple from a tree, perhaps that same force reached the moon, pulling it inward to maintain its circular orbit. He expanded this logic to the entire solar system. He realized every object in the universe pulls on every other object, creating a balanced, interconnected system. For the first time in history, the heavens and the earth were proven to be united. Both followed the exact same physical law. Newton spent decades calculating the math behind this unification before finally publishing his defining masterpiece in 1687, the Principia Mathematica. Within its pages, he defined his 3 laws of motion. These provided the indisputable mathematical rules governing how force, mass, and movement interact across the universe. The universe had shifted from a place of terrifying magic into a beautiful, perfectly ordered mathematical machine. Everything from the ocean tides to the path of a comet became predictable. One man, thinking quietly in a small room, had successfully decoded the hidden rules that dictate our physical reality. Despite his perfect science, Newton's humanity was flawed. He was famously stubborn and engaged in a bitter, years-long feud with Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz over who truly invented calculus first. He also dedicated massive amounts of time to alchemy and theology, searching for a divine intelligence he believed was hidden behind the equations of physics. Newton ended his life as an honored public figure, serving as master of the mint and fighting counterfeiters. When he died, he was laid to rest in Westminster Abbey, alongside the kings of England. He famously admitted that he merely stood on the shoulders of giants. His life proves that understanding is an ongoing journey, unlocked by anyone with the courage to simply pause and ask why.